Hello everyone and welcome back to my The Young and Restless 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Phyllis and Sharon could still be in peril from their kidnapper. Alan knows that there was a security pants at the clinic where he was keeping Phyllis and Sharon. Are they still in peril from him after their escape? Phyllis and Sharon weren't just aimlessly abducted. These ladies were taken for a reason. The fact that Nick helped to save them isn't going to settle well. Alan hasn't planned for them to get out at all. The gas was indeed trigged to go off at a certain time to kill both of them. Now that the trial is done, Alan's phone has advised Tracy to a problem. Alan and Tracy just got engaged before she saw the dispatches on the phone. Alan's defenses aren't making a great deal of sense. Tracy knows that Alan's phone doesn't have some kind of a contagion or malware. Phyllis and Sharon were both cured to get them to the clinic. Alan has also poisoned both of the ladies while they were at the clinic. It isn't safe for these two to stay in city because they would be sitting ducks formally again. How did Alan indeed get to them on Valentine's Day? Would Alan go after them formally again? Alan has dealt with this with his family for times. Actually, Martin could be posing as Alan. Whichever bone of the men are around, they've no idea what he looks like, so he could decide to befriend them and take them right back to where he has been holding them. Alan could also have other places to store these two. Will Tracy get caught in the middle of this hijacking mess? Nick Newman is trying to shoot Sharon Newman out of town. Nick seems to agree that it's a good idea for Sharon to go out of city. Still, Nick doesn't know who abducted Sharon. How do Nick and Sharon not realize that she could be followed? Still, does he really not believe he'd come back? Alan had to be following her for some time formerly, if Alan is going to go to these lengths. These same issues apply to Phyllis as well. How did Alan know about their rift? Could Martin have been locked up with Sharon or Phyllis at one time? Someone needs to consider all of this before transferring either lady on a vacation. However, how will they find them when they're out of city? If they don't see them missing in Genoa City. Sharon was saved by Nick and others formerly again. But she and Phyllis fulfilled what they preliminarily would have seen insolvable, allowing them to survive until the deliverance team arrived. Sharon, Phyllis, and those searching for them couldn't determine the abductor's provocation. Followership members understood the feeling, as this tale launched oddly and was jarring until the end. It's reasonable to notice all points in a tale as it's being told, meaning that it's fair to question why this specific plot happened. Yet, the reveal of Alan, or if this person is the assumed dead identical twin, Martin, was perfect. Martin could veritably well have been the family who survived the window fall in Paris, France, that made it appear as though he failed. Also again, Alan could be revealed as alive and participating the same internal illness issues. Let's assume the further straightforward route and say that Alan survived the fall. That would be the arguably more grueling outgrowth for Tracy because she'd have fallen in love with a man who was in fraud. Still, if Martin survived, Tracy would be in for a tremendous shock and feel to be in lesser peril. Observers can only imagine what might be to Tracy if she learns or confirms that he's the abductor. Considering what this man, whoever he is, did to Sharon and Phyllis makes it probably he'd do the same or worse to his now fiancée. Billy allowed. Like a hardcore bystander when he asked if Ian was dead. That's the type of question someone who's watched this show since Wise's first run on the show would ask. So, why did Billy ask it? It was a head fake to the followership at that point in the plot. Every bystander who saw Ian wake up when he was transported to the morgue assumed he might be or was exacting a vengeance plot against Sharon and Phyllis. That was a rational supposition because Ian told Jordan that those two specific characters boggle his plans. So, Alan or Martin's reveal as the kidnapper seems to mean he and not Ian is the villain. Still, observers can still believe that Ian was cremated as Nick and Chance suppose they know. Nick and Sharon have frequently been together since Ray failed. Presently, they aren't romantically involved with any other character. Along with their history, current state of peace, and understanding, it's really possible that these two iconic characters are being written back to the status of a couple. Whether that leads to a long-awaiting remarriage remains an open question, with only one marriage ever having happened between them. Still, the conflict between Phyllis and Sharon could take Stafford's character off the board. She could support Schick or make a play for Nick, which would reignite her contest with Sharon again. Alan Laurent aka Martin will snap over Tracy questions while Billy asks Phyllis remission. At Billy's place, he'll fill Sally in on all the deliverance drama, so she'll fret since he could have been walking into a trap. Billy will contend he'd to step up for Phyllis, but he'll be impeccably happy to let the police handle chancing the kidnapper. At the GCAC, Summer and Daniel will embrace Phyllis, who'll enjoy a burger as she spills all the prison details, including the fact that Sharon saved her life. Sharon will also tell Nick about Phyllis saving her with CPR as she updates him at the coffee house. There'll be some talk about how the prisoner sounded to know a lot about psychology since he knew all the right buttons to push. After Sharon compares the fire to an exorcism, she'll confess that she did manage to work through some of her once demons with Phyllis. Once Chance and his provisory dig around the room where Sharon and Phyllis were held, an indication will surface. Chance will find a remote-controlled device that was attached to the gas line, and also he'll trace the purchase of it to a tackle store near Havenhurst. After Chance spills that news to Nick and Sharon, he'll suggest they can look into the security footage and see if anyone recognizable pops up. Considering how important Sharon has been through, Chance will point out that no one would condemn her if she demanded to get out of city for a while. Nick will agree, so he'll suppose perhaps Sharon should visit Noah in Europe and take Faith with her. Sharon will be willing to go if Nick comes as well, so she'll catch him off guard with her suggestion. Back at Billy's place, Phyllis will get emotional as she begs him to let her dive into effects at Abbott Dispatches. Billy will feel like Phyllis needs to recover from her fire, but she'll argue that work is what she needs rather. Since Billy assumed Phyllis abandoned him at first, he'll admit he didn't put her name on the press release. After Billy offers an reason and asks for remission, Phyllis will forgive him incontinently, especially since he helped deliver her. Phyllis will eventually pull Billy into her arms as they partake a sweet moment on Monday's YNR occasion. At the GCAC, Alan will feel tense as he grills Tracy about what she's doing with his phone. Tracy will be sorry for intruding and will explain that she was concerned about the weird sound it was making. After Tracy mentions the odd security breach communication, Alan will act like his phone got addressed. At one point, Alan will indeed suggest perhaps identity theft would help him gain a new perspective as a therapist. Tracy will notice another announcement about a remote device getting detached and the gas expatriation stopping. That'll bring further questions for Tracy, so Alan will snap at her before apologizing since he's been stressed. Once Alan suggests their life together is all that matters, Tracy will bandy some marriage possibilities with him. After Tracy mentions Paris as an option, Alan will suppose they should hop on a flight there to look into some venues. Alan will continue to make prognostications about their bright future, but Tracy will face some tough blows soon. Grave peril is brewing for Tracy while Nick gets a surprise invite. 2 usurpations are also ahead, so let's talk about what's in store. First, Tracy will get weirded out by Alan Laurent aka Martin jest. Alan will try to throw Tracy off the trail when it comes to the wild announcements on his phone, but he'll get irritable with her in the process. Alan will ultimately suggest taking a trip to Paris so they can nail down a possible place to get wedded there. Tracy will end up seeking advice from Diane Jenkins and Jack, so she may tell them that Alan has been stressed. That could leave Tracy with dubieties about whether getting engaged was really the stylish idea. Diane and Jack don't have any reason to misdoubt Alan's love for Tracy, so they may suppose she should cut him some slack and go enjoy herself in Paris. As for Chance, he'll get a break in the disquisition. The remote-controlled contrivance used to spark the gas leak came from a tackle store near the abandoned clinic, so Chance will have a lead to follow. Thanks to some security footage from that store, Chance may also have a way to find out Alan aka Martin made the purchase. Since Sharon clearly deserves some rest and relaxation after all the hijacking mayhem she's been through, Nick will encourage her to take a little European holiday. After Nick pushes Sharon to visit Noah with Faith and Hitch, she'll want Nick to go as well. That'll put Nick on the spot and spark a discussion about where effects truly stand with Sharon. Once Sharon confesses her desire for a romantic reunion, she'll want to know if that study has crossed Nick's mind, too. While Nick and Sharon address their passions for each other, Billy will console Phyllis after her fire and grow near to her in the process. Summer will remain on edge over the crazy kidnapper who still hasn't been caught, so it seems she'll spare on Kyle formally again. Unfortunately, it looks like Claire will witness Summer putatively making another play for Kyle, so she may have a problem with that. Claire tried to move Victor that he shouldn't make fresh swells in her love, but he's going to make them anyway. Still, Victor may contend that he'll no way escape the drama of Summer and Claire feuding, if Kyle insists on continuing his current relationship. Although Kyle has made some positive prognostications about his future with Claire, Summer's going to beget further issues. Kyle may have to make some updates to how he interacts with Summer if he hopes to keep the peace with Claire. Summer can't keep stepping out of bounds or it could lead to bad news. While Lily seeks word regarding Damien motives, Audra may have to give Holden a warning. Holden will test boundaries with Audra and may get reprimanded as a result. As Adam and Chelsea's solicitations grow stronger, it seems they'll delve in and hit the wastes. That could mark a big turning point and make effects more sanctioned for these two. It'll be a short week due to those usurpations, but the show will still pack in some serious action.